Hello, 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 all you cool cats and kittens. I'm Mina SayWhat. This is the Mina's House Podcast, episode 138.
I'm Shana B.
Garnett Briscoe, a.k.a. Sherlock Homeboi.
Dex the one.
Dex the one. Not the two. Not the three. The one. Guys, so I have a little cold that I'm getting over, and for like half a day.
A cold?
Yes, I have a cold.
I wouldn't tell nobody.
First of all, I know it's a cold because I got caught in the rain, and then I went in the house. I went in the house in the AC, and then the next day my throat was hurting me.
Sure.
Do you have a sense of smell?
What?
Do you have a sense of smell?
Yeah.
And
I have everything.
Check it.
I have everything. The only thing was I was sweating every night for like 2 nights straight.
Now, when I had that for 2 nights straight, y'all called it something completely different. Nah, you're going to get this slander, Mina. You had that. You got it.
That's because you haven't been safe. I've been safe.
Oh, see, no, I ain't trying to hear that. I wasn't safe, and I had 2 days of having the chills too, so it don't matter.
Well, it went away. So, but
mine's away too. Nah, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah.
You guys. But my voice sounds a little crazy. I was just telling y'all that because of that. So let's get into what's in our feed because I'm really excited about the next versus battle. Rick Ross, the boss. I think I'm Big Meech. Ooh, Larry Hoover and Mr. 2 Chainz. I know you like I used to. I need to put that on YouTube. Listen, I'm going to be right there front and center. Thursday, what is it? August the 6th.
6th or the 5th?
The 6th.
6th.
5th? Thursday.
Oh, yeah, it's the 6th. It's the 6th. Friday's the 7th.
At 8 p.m. Eastern time. So who do y'all have for this? Because this is I feel like this is going to be a really good one.
I'm just not that excited about this one. I'm being honest. I mean, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not that excited about it. So there's a difference. Like, I don't, not like either one of them. It's just not one of the ones that I like got this pre-hype. Like, I got to be ready in my position for, like, if I'm like in the kitchen and I miss 5 minutes, I can catch up with the rest.
Y'all really feel this way?
No, I mean, I'm excited about it, but I have to go with, and I love 2 Chainz, but I got to go with my birthday brother, Rick Ross. He and we had a little beef a couple years ago, and I'm glad that we're back on good terms, so I'm going to root for Ross.
Tell us about this beef.
Right.
What's the beef?
So you remember Rick Ross had a situation a couple years, like I think it was like last year, or the year before last, where he had like a seizure, and he was in the hospital, and he was on life, like people thought he was going to pass away. We share a birthday, January 28th, and I was so concerned. So I prayed for Rick Ross, and I tweeted him, and I texted, like, I'm praying for you, I'm praying for you, I'm praying for you. And then when he got out of the hospital, he Instagrammed a picture of a watch, and he never thanked us for our prayers. So, like, we had, like, a beef for a little bit, and now we've come to a mutual decision that we can be friends again.
Cleared it up.
So Dexter beefs with people on social media, but they don't know they're beefing with him. So can we go through some of your beefs that you've had that they don't know they're beefing with you?
Well, that was the biggest ones, like, that I can think of right now. Lauren London and I have some weird beef too. I don't know what it is, but she blocked me on Twitter, and I don't know why.
Well, your mouth is a little slick, Dex.
What did you say to Nunu?
Who else?
Back in the day, who else? Like
someone else blocked you. Nelly? Didn't Nelly block you?
He didn't block me. Nelly wanted to argue with me for whatever reason. Like, I don't know. I don't be doing nothing to these people. Everybody hates me.
Dexter, you're like a low-key troll.
Low key.
I was trying to be nice.
He might as well work for the Shade Room. I know just for his comment.
I'm really excited about this. I don't know, maybe because I like ratchet stuff. I'm ready to be like, I'm riding around and I'm getting it. I'm riding around and I'm getting it. I'm riding around and I'm getting it. It's mine. I spin it. It's mine. No, y'all not ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Who y'all think is gonna win?
I think it'll be Ross. I don't think it'll be as easy as a lot of people may seem. I do think it'll be a really good battle to showcase, both of their catalogs. Ross has an amazing catalog, one of the most underrated catalog in my opinion. And then 2 Chainz is gonna let you know he had a period of time he had 100 features in a year. On amazing songs, and he had his own songs that were really big off his album and mixtapes and stuff like that.
I'm different, spend it.
So it's definitely gonna be a good one. I'm not super excited for it because I feel like I know the outcome.
Yeah. That's how I feel. Like, I'm gonna enjoy it. I am not saying I'm not gonna enjoy it. I'm just not hyped for it.
Right. I think too. I got my money on 2 Chainz, to be honest. I think 2 Chainz is gonna pull a Jonte Austin. Like, no one's gonna see him winning this thing. He's gonna pop out with records that you forgot he did, features that you didn't even realize he was on. And every time
both can come with those features, although, like Garnett said, 2 Chainz do have. I don't know if he has more than Rick Ross, but they both got a good amount of features.
Yeah.
Right. I just think 2 Chainz is gonna win off the strength of. I don't think people see him winning, automatically people are like Rick Ross. People forget like Titty Boy, Player Circle. He had a whole run with DTP and Ludacris.
Yeah.
Like, people forget that about him because he's been in the game for like 20 years.
Yeah, he's been in for a minute.
Long time. All right, moving on. Megan. Megan has finally come out and let us know. I mean, she's kind of been letting us know what's been going on this whole time, but she put up a video just kind of saying, yeah, I've been shot. Y'all over here joking around. It really happened. So I thought it was really important. I said this on air one day, and this girl kind of got offended. I don't know why. But she said that she feels like she never really got over the death of her mother, and she was probably filling her life with people that didn't belong there. I literally remember saying that on air one day, like, you have to understand, she might still be having residual, even before she got shot. I remember she was doing a lot, and I'm like, you have to think she's probably still going through the motions of her mother passing away. And someone was like, why would you bring that up? That's so insensitive. I was like, I was bringing it up to remind people that
every day.
Right. She might be going through something underneath, and all we see is the twerking and the drinking and the excessive partying. We don't understand. She's probably really hurting under, and she's just trying to like figure out, what makes her feel good.
Yeah, I mean, everybody grieves differently, and not to bring him up, but we see, how Kanye reacted when his mother, and still does, with his mother's death. And like I always tell people, death is like an ocean. Some days it's going to be calm, and then some days the waves are going to knock you over. And for her, to have achieved this level of success, and you don't have your mom there, like, that's probably just very extremely hard. On top of it just being your mom is not there, you don't have her for these other achievements. And then, like you say, you feel love or whatever from all these other people that you think you're filling that hole in your heart with. So, I'm just happy she's okay, because this could have went way different.
Yeah, but this gives me a lot of like the Chris Brown Rihanna stuff. Like, it's very reminiscent of that to me. And like, I think one of the things that, in my opinion, that Rihanna didn't do properly was like blame Chris Brown for what he did and like kind of hold him accountable. I feel like we as the public did it, but I don't think she ever did it. And I think that Megan is doing the same thing with Tory in this situation. There was something she said that made me think like, okay, now I kind of get it, when she was like, I just wasn't ready to talk about it. And I can understand that and I can respect it. But like, I feel like even with that video that she posted, she still never talked about it. Like, you've never actually said Tory Lanez did this to me. Like,
right.
It's like, maybe it's painful to talk about, but another part of me feels like, well, maybe she's trying to protect him in a sense. You know what I mean? Because she said in the video, I'm not protecting anybody, but you kind of are. Like, you're not saying that he did it.
Right. And I was going to say the only difference, and not that I was in their relationship, but just knowing people with Chris Brown and Rihanna, they did have a very volatile relationship where they apparently fought a lot. So I do think that had we not found out, they would have gone on like, like nothing happened. And I don't know, again, I didn't even know Megan and Tory like were dealing, or none of us really knew. Like, people are cool in the industry. So I don't know, if this was their first even kind of blow up encounter, and he took it all the way there.
I'm not saying this would have happened to Megan, but I feel like a lot of the times when women do come forward and name a man or accuse someone of something, sometimes they get attacked. And I'm not saying that she would have gotten attacked, because I mean, even the jokes are a form of attack. You know, it's kind of making light of a very traumatic situation to her. But I do feel like as women sometimes, you know, sometimes it's better not to publicly accuse someone, because you never know how people are going to react, you know? I mean, I think the public is doing it for her, though. I mean, they want to support him.
And where is he from? I thought he was like
Canada.
Because he's from, like, I don't know if he's from Toronto, Canada. But I know he's from Canada. I don't know what part of it in there, Canada. But I know he's from Canada.
Now, I feel like, I mean, the comparison, you know, with the Chris Brown situation now in this situation, I just think it's a hard thing to do for them, because everything is moving so fast. You know, like nothing stops. You know, they still got to make music, meet deadlines, quotas. Like nothing really stops. And when you sit and really evaluate what it is, I don't think she wants to maybe mess up his life even more. Kind of just want to sweep it under the rug and get it over with, so she doesn't have to address it, whether it be right or wrong. And I think Rihanna may have handled that situation the same way. I just want to be done with this. I don't want to talk about this person and have this drag on and this, but my opinion.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe somebody, and maybe it's ill-advised to your point, Dex, because we do have women in this country and some men that are constantly abused and are scared to come forward. And I do think that sometimes it will help to see other figures that are facing it, and maybe just even her not saying it helps those people in those situations. But she could have people in her corner like, don't say his name for whatever weird, you know, reason.
I also think like it's like I forgot what I was gonna say. I had it. It was there and it left.
Blame it on the cold.
No, I had it and it really just left.
Wait, I have a question. Go ahead. You remember?
No. Go ahead.
I have a question. So he's not in jail anymore. So he got bailed out, all that.
Yeah, but he never got charged for shooting her. He just got charged for having the gun.
And that's why I didn't know if she wasn't saying it. Because when you look at everything, it says Tory Lanez got arrested for carrying a gun. It never says for shooting her.
Right.
But clearly, we know he shot her.
Right, but I think the NYPD didn't know until she actually came out and said, I was shot. You know, I think the hospital knew, you know, but the hospital has nothing to do with the police. So
how long it take to press charges? And I'm not trying to be smart. If this was Chris Brown, do you think any woman at this point, they would have pressed them charges?
She's not cooperating, the police are saying.
Oh, but still, they still would have been charging Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, she's not cooperating. But what I was going to say is I feel like we have this expectation that celebrities have to deal with their issues publicly, was what I was going to say. But like, we still don't know what happened with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Like, some people just never address their stuff publicly. Mm-hmm. You know, there's some situations that we still don't know who Becky with the good hair is.
we got speculation. And
right.
Some tea on who Becky is.
Right, but just like this situation, Megan never said Tory shot her, but we have speculation.
But again, knowing that he actually is not charged in this case, that could very well be. But again, I don't know why she wouldn't cooperate. You know, I don't know. All y'all point, maybe she loves him. Maybe she feels like she's going to ruin his life. Maybe she just doesn't want to go through a court process. I don't know.
And, you know, also, you know, she comes off as her persona is a street kind of woman, right? So in the culture that we live in, the snitching, the telling, the
that was exactly what I was thinking.
It's frowned down, yeah, and it's a problem, especially when you have a woman. We know both of these individuals have nothing to do with the street at this point in their life. So to either follow by some of these morals in a place that they're going is bad, and this is what you're going to get. You're going to get empty stuff when somebody's doing something wrong and not hold them accountable for it.
You know what, though? When I read that she wasn't being cooperative with the police, I kind of thought about, like, think about where we are, like, society-wise and racial-wise right now when it comes to the police. You know, there's definitely a dislike for the police and cooperating. So it's like, even the way that they treated her. I mean, they ran up that way. They ran up
like I wasn't a victim.
Right. They ran up on all of them like they was a victim and handcuffed all of them, had her on the side of the street. She was bleeding and limping.
To Dex point, she was walking back and
right.
You know.
Right. So it might be a situation where, like, y'all treated me like crap. I'm not cooperating with y'all now. And it's the climate of where we are right now as well. Even though technically she's the victim, but it might be the situation like, why would I get y'all involved? It's not like you're going to, you know, you're going to do anything that's going to benefit me at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. And I saw, you know, some stuff on Twitter where people are like advocating for him to like get deported to, you know, Canada too. So it's a lot going on in that situation. I'm sure no one really wants to unveil. So
let me tell you, Black Twitter will hold you accountable. Listen, apparently Drea lost her Fenty Savage deal, the lingerie line.
Right.
Listen, they was tweeting Rihanna like, get this girl up out of here.
Yes.
Look,
I knew, I could tell, you know, we know the people that Megan was addressing to with the jokes and everything without actually saying their name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 50 apologized.
She hates to use names. Megan hates the name drop.
Well, that's the thing. When you name call people, you create a division, you know? Yeah. So it's like if you say something in a general way, it can apply to whoever. Like Chris Brown, right? With the Usher and Chris Brown thing. People were like, oh, you should battle Usher. He didn't say, oh, I got more catalog than Usher. No, thank you. He just said, I could win a versus with just my features. I will politely decline. He ain't say Usher. He didn't, you know, sometimes when you start name calling people, it comes off as a little confrontational because you dealing with it in a very direct way. Like, bruh, you said this, you need to stop. And plus, she's a woman.
Can I just say one more thing about that Drea thing? I know that's not one of like the topic, but just really quickly, because like I haven't really had this conversation with too many women, but I'm just curious. Do you guys think what she said was that bad? And the only reason I'm saying that is because there are women who say they like it when their guy is a little bit more aggressive with them and tells them like.
No, I felt like that was the stupidest thing I ever heard.
He shot her.
Right. This wasn't like, oh, I like to be choked during sex. This wasn't like, right. This wasn't like, I like to be spanked in the kitchen when I'm cooking. This is like shoot you in the foot, try to hurt you, aggravated assault, you know, attempted murder.
Yeah. When she said I was like, wait, what? Like, no, like, you're giving the wrong message. I don't want nobody loving me that much. You want to shoot me and potentially kill me. Don't love me that much. Love me a little less.
Yeah, but that explains why her relationships don't work.
And then I was going to say, too, it's not only what you say, it's the way you say it. And the way that she was, like, saying it was just very, like, flippant. And again, like, it's not a serious situation.
And I think that was her attempt at a joke, and it fell flat.
Yeah.
It fell flat. It was a bad joke, but I do think it speaks volumes for her trying to create a joke out of that, because it shows you the difference between what people view this situation and then like a Rihanna situation.
Yeah, for sure.
There wasn't nobody making real jokes because you could see the physical pain that, you know, was put on her. It was brutal. With that, we don't, you know, you get shot in the foot 100 times out of 100, you're going to survive.
Let me say this, though. I distinctly remember when the Chris Brown and Rihanna situation happened, there was a lot of victim blaming on Rihanna, talking about, oh, well, she took his phone and she would talk down to him and hit him. And, you know, you had all of that. But then when the picture came out and we saw what he did, that whole narrative changed. So I don't know why we live in this world where literally it happens all the time. When a woman says she's been victimized, we automatically say, well, what did you do? Did you smack him? Did you call him a name? Did you do that? Like somehow something that I did made you be a woman beater.
Right.
Like, so I think there's that narrative, you know, that you do have to deal with. I mean, I think Megan, that didn't happen to Megan, but people made light of a very serious situation. If we would have saw her pictures of her feet with bullet holes in them, would the jokes have came?
Right.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
And like, you think so? I think 50 Cent might have still.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think 50.
Yeah. Do you know that those jokes kind of write themselves? If she posted pictures with her foot with bullet holes in them.
You know what, Dex? I can't even the way your face looks.
No.
What you saying? What you saying under the picture? What's your comment?
I'm just saying, I'm gonna keep scrolling, but like, you know, people are, oh damn, he missed the pinky toe, or like, you know,
Right.
saying people are gonna go crazy when they see this. Keep those pictures to yourself.
I was just saying, sometimes it's sad as women, you got to produce like evidence for people to believe your pain.
Listen, I was saying for her, seeing her get pulled out that car and everything like that, and then now knowing she was shot in the foot and had to endure it, just that alone. Like, can you imagine the cops rolling up, helicopters going, and meanwhile you bleeding from your, like, and you're trying to figure out why did he just do this to me? Like, just that whole thing had to be so traumatic.
She didn't realize she had been shot. That's what I wonder what was happening in the car that she didn't realize she got shot. She said she heard a loud bang, and then there was like extreme pain in both of her feet, and she thought she cut herself.
Right, probably adrenaline, and then, you know, if they were drinking and anything.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. All right. So it's funny how we're talking about we want her to be so vocal about what's going on with this and more direct. And then we literally shift to someone that's so direct that it's almost like, do you need to be this direct? Like Meek Mill going on social media saying he's no longer with his baby mom, Milan. Like, and that they're raising their child as separate entities. I mean, is that necessary? Did we need to know that?
I'm not sure if it was necessary, but I think he's putting it out there before anybody else puts it out there. So it's just trying to, you know, get to it before the news do, so they can create another narrative for it. So he just beat him to the punch, I felt like.
I agree with that, because at the end he did say, I'm just doing this before social media turns this into something, which made me assume maybe he's moved on with somebody else and you didn't want the cheating rumors. But what I didn't agree with, and I love Meek, was the next post that came right after that spoke to like money and making sure your circle is different, because with it like implied or suggested something that didn't seem very nice about, you know, the mother of your child and this person that you have been friends with. Right. So I honestly feel like I had more problem with the one that came after than him saying, you know, we moved on and we're not together.
You know what? In general, the last time I spoke to him, he told me he wasn't going to be in another very like open, you know, publicly, like such a public relationship anymore since Nicki. Like he said that to me.
But they forced that though. Like I really don't think they were trying to be out there in public and stuff. I think that the public, like we pulled that. We made them confirm that they were a couple and everything. Like we were like, y'all together. We see y'all in Miami.
Yeah,
like,
you there. She's there. She's there.
We did that to them. And I think that's kind of like what Garnett was saying, like he was trying to like get in front of the story before it becomes something bigger. Mm-hmm. I do agree with Shana as well. Like the other stuff wasn't really that necessary, and it does make people look at her like with the side eye, like, was you gold digger? Right. Like, what's going on there? And it's a little odd that he did this stuff right after Nicki Minaj announced that she's having.
Right. Like you could hold on for another week.
Wait, first of all, I refuse to let y'all suggest that Meek is planning his breakup announcement around Nicki's pregnancy announcement. We know.
I'm not saying that he planned it. It just happened that way.
So what do you think the motive is?
Attention.
Listen, I would have said no, but that second post about the money in the circle, again, coming right off of the heels of you talking about somebody, and what did make me mad in a lot of the comments was, you ain't even know her, and like people from Philly and everything, we know, like, yes, they have known each other for some time. but that's why I kind of had a problem with it. And maybe he was just venting. But again, you know, in this world, when people are reading everything that you say, maybe it had nothing to do with her. The way it was lined up, it made it look like it had something to do with her. And he's smart enough to kind of know that it would make it look that way.
Yeah. You know, I don't
know about that, though. I don't know about that. he's reckless with the internet, so I don't know about that.
I was just surprised in general about how open he was with their relationship, even once they confirmed. I mean, I know they were kind of secretive in the beginning, but I just thought that he wasn't going to do what he's doing now ever again after Nicki, because that was such a public situation. And he said that to me. And, you know, it's uncomfortable when you're going through stuff with your partner, and then you got to explain it to the world. Like, I'll never forget. I was in a 5-year relationship, and we had broke up, and, you know, he was kind of like a character on the morning show that I was on. People knew who he was. We had a code name for him. And I'll never forget when we broke up. I'm like, I haven't even processed this myself. I can't even begin to explain my personal life. It took me months. And it was crazy because people would be like, where's so-and-so? Why you don't talk about so-and-so no more? And like, it had become so public that now people were like, well, she's not talking about him. What's going on? I wasn't even ready to have that conversation.
Yeah, but I do agree with Dex. Like he said, I don't think Meek or Milano were trying to make it public. Everyone else was like, y'all need to come out. Y'all need to say it. Why you don't claim her? Why you don't claim her like you claim Nicki? Like, it was like, it was more of a force.
I guess. I just think, like, even the post where they're laying on the couch and he was like, we started off as close friends. And it's like, oh, we gonna tell our grandkids that we started off as friends. I'm like, bro, what? Like, I understand confirming a relationship so that, you know, you give her the respect of she's having my child. Let me at least address it. But I just felt like they were, I don't know. I think this was a very open relationship. And, you know, I was just really surprised when he announced that they had broken up. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, okay, if they see him with one of these hoes out here, you know, now they know.
They still gonna talk about it though.
Yeah, definitely.
What, Dex?
I said, why they gotta be hoes?
Well,
he's not gonna go from one serious relationship into another. You know, he's gonna dip around a little bit.
Don't do too much dipping me. COVID is still real. COVID is out here.
Even when people were speculating he was dating with Milan, he was tweeting all these weird things that had nothing to do with her, clearly, you know. So
for some reason, I think they'll probably be back together.
They have a kid, like, I mean, and they're close friends and all that stuff like that. And that's another reason. I think the only reason he was so public and open with this one is because the two of them had a kid together. And I think that when you have like a big moment with someone, like, it's kind of like, I'm not hiding anything, but I feel the need to put this out there because our situation is different now.
I'll tell you one thing, 2 months, that's fast.
I know.
That is fast. So,
maybe, you know, being in COVID and being sheltered in place with people. You're like, wait a minute.
Made everything up, huh?
Right.
Like, I don't know if I want this anymore. This is a lot.
They might just need a little break too. But again, to the point that if they just need a little break and he's spotted with somebody, it would become news, and to not disrespect her that way.
I don't know. She's a Taurus and I'm a Taurus. And if you...
I'm not saying that she's feeling that way.
No, I'm saying if you publicly embarrass me this way, where you're putting our business out to the whole world...
Maybe he feels like he need a break.
I'm like, I don't know if I want to get back to you, bro.
Right.
We break up 2 months, right? Like, this is when we need you the most. And you want to cut out? I don't know if he's cutting out. All I'm saying is, I don't know. I feel like this might really weigh heavy on her. The public notion of it. And she just had a baby. You don't know what she's going through. This is her first child. You don't know if she has postpartum.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe she's going through it. You just don't know, you know? So, all right, let's move on to our topic because this has been something that I've been kind of wondering. I just feel like my opinions on this have really changed like in the past 3-4 years. I think something happens when you turn 30. And like literally the things that were not acceptable when you were 25 or 26, now you 30 and you're like, I don't know, I might change my mind on this. So the topic is really like, if you're in a long-term situation, what is not forgivable? Like absolutely not forgivable. And the reason why is because I literally was watching Love and Hip Hop the other day, and Rashida completely forgave Kirk for having a baby with a stripper on her. And they're all like, oh, we're celebrating our 20-year-old marriage. And then I was having another conversation with my friend who's married, and we were talking about things that men do sometimes that violate you as a woman. And sometimes it's like, you never thought that you would be with someone that does something that violates you in a way that you never thought you would even accept or still be with someone. But like when you get older and you have really deep feelings for someone, you start to learn to forgive because of your relationship with that person, something that you probably wouldn't have forgiven if you were 22, 23 years old. Do you guys have that?
So with my friends, like my guys, like they honestly could probably do some wild stuff, right? And I would just be like, you know what, that's my boy. Like I'm sticking with him. Like I don't like what you did. I can address what you did, but I'm sticking with you. I think that people don't look at their relationships that same way. Like people don't look at their partner and truthfully say like, this is my best friend and mean it. When I say with my fiance, like we're best friends. So the same way how my boys could like do some wild stuff and I can kind of look past it, she could do wild stuff too. And her stuff would affect me deeper, but I would be able to look past it. There's literally nothing she could do that I would be like, I'm out of this. I can't do this anymore.
So if she had a baby on you,
I would just deal with it. Like,
if she fucked your best friend?
But see, that's another thing though. I don't even think are like in her character. Like you just know.
You never know.
I know she won't do that. It's one of those, like, it's just, you know people well enough too. So like when you be like, I forgive people through anything, you know your friends aren't going to go out there and shoot somebody. You know what I mean? Like you're backing them. You have like, unless they're Tory Lanez, but like you know how people, like what people are doing and so forth and so on. So it's like for me, actually, if she shot me, I would.
That's out of his damn mind.
That's crazy. There's nothing she can do outside of shooting me. If she shoots me,
how about if she stabbed you?
I'm about to say. No, okay. I think I do agree with you, Mina, that I think when we're outside of ourselves, and especially in our younger selves, we're like, oh, I would never, and we had this list of nevers. I don't even think it's as you get older. I do think it's as you get in certain relationships, certain people warrant a certain length of forgiveness and certain people don't. And it's just really hard to judge because there's things I've done or forgiven or seen past that I would have said, you would never catch me. Or like you said, I have situations with friends or different things that they're going through. And when I talk to them and I'm like talking to them about their spouse or their girlfriend, boyfriend, and we talk about forgiveness, and I'm like, dang, this is something I would say I would never, and I'm helping them on like how they cross that bridge. But I do think it is definitely looking at the level of the relationship, and if that person is warranted that kind of level of forgiveness. It's one thing, again, we would all be young girls, and I know girls would always say, ain't no man ever going to cheat on me. Ain't no man, first of all, we ain't know enough about men.
Right.
So, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, so if somebody cheats on me and having to go through that, yes, would it be devastating? Yes, would it be violating? And I can't even say until I know who that person is, whether I'd be willing to forgive it or not. Yeah, if you make it an everyday occurrence, you know what I mean? So
you can't keep forgiving somebody, right?
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying it depends on the situation, the person. But I can't think like, except for like what Dex said, like some type of large personal violence that I know you are really like, again, not saying that cheating wouldn't harm me because it would hurt me, but you trying to shoot me, stab me, beat me to death, you are really trying to end my life. So there's no way that you could even care enough about me. So I don't, I don't know. And, and I've asked the question, and I'll, ask you guys this, like, if a person had another sexual orientation, would you be okay with it?
And that was another place I was gonna go. When you get older, they get freakier. So it's like if you dealing with somebody and then she's like, "Oh, I want to put this in your booty," or "I want," and they're all of a sudden asking for things that you wasn't asking for anymore. Like, do you tolerate that?
I think it's one of those situations where if somebody presents that to you, like, we're friends at the beginning of this, we're friends. You can present that to me and I can say, like, no, that's not something I'm comfortable with. And like, I just feel like that should be enough. I don't really understand like how just saying, no, I don't want to do that. I don't like that. I don't feel comfortable. Like, how is that not enough?
Right.
No, you're right. I'm just saying there's certain things that it's like, I would never,
right.
And then you're in a, 6, 7, 8-year relationship. And your man might want some things in his booty and he didn't want it before. And then, maybe now he's going out and getting that somewhere else. And you're like, well, I'm not going to give it to him. I mean, what? This could go so many different ways. Like,
if a woman try to do anything with my butthole, I'm out.
It's out of here. Wait, that's what your thing is? Like, if she tries to...
That would be the one unforgivable thing he's asking?
Yeah, that's not, we not going to keep pressing the issue on that. We not pressing the issue. It's a no and it's a wrap. That and Side Baby for sure. Side Baby is crazy. But I do understand it. People are in different situations, like Shana was saying, especially with the older you get. It's more emotional, it's financial. It's a lot of things that go into that'll make someone forgive it and, stay there. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Side babies, anything. I would understand it if I had a side baby. If someone left, I would completely understand.
Okay, but here's the thing. How about if you were in a really bad place in your marriage or relationship? You're bad. You guys are fighting all the time. You're not on the same page, and then that your relationship wasn't there. And that he or she possibly was seeing somebody else. And then this happens out of you guys not being on the same page. Like, I'm telling you, things change, yo. And it's crazy. I literally watched Rashida celebrate her 20-year marriage after she was sitting there saying, I'm done with this guy. He had a whole baby on me.
Yeah,
like, stuff be changing.
I've seen people, forgive or get back into relationships with people where that has happened. Obviously, it would have to be a hard pill to swallow, and that's the one thing for people in those situations, because I've seen it happen both ways. My one thing is when you forgive that person, you also have to be okay, especially in a side baby situation, with the child. Yep. Like, you cannot take it out on that child, because they was like, I was just swimming around and daddy's, mommy, like, they didn't ask to be there. So when you forgive the situation, like in a Rashida situation where there's this child now, like, you have to think about what that full picture means to your family, your kids, and this child that you're willing to say, okay, I accept him back, and, we're going to work through this.
Look at Chloe. Tristan done mess with all her friends. Laura Pippen, or Larsa, whatever her name is. Larsa Pippen, Jordan. He done mess with all her friends.
Well, and you get down swinging and then everybody keeps swinging. It's like, I'm just saying, I don't know if that's what they do. But I'm just saying, if that's what y'all do, then maybe it ain't an issue.
Right, so.
Chloe almost killed Lamar Odom. So, I don't know if she deserved this or not from Tristan. I don't know.
You think Chloe almost killed Lamar? You ain't think Lamar killed Lamar?
She has something to do with it.
If you're in a relationship with someone and they have a drug problem and you're not helping them get the help, like Kim is helping Kanye West get help right now, Chloe was allowing him to do these drugs and covering up for him. You almost killed him.
You're an enabler. Yeah, you're an enabler.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny how different, it's not funny, but it's interesting how different people tolerate different things.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a drug problem might be a thing too. Like if she developed,
Dexter, you didn't think this all the way through, Dexter.
I'm one of those people. Like that's my girl. Like I'm a ride with you. But
I know, but you have to think about it. Like, is there anything that is not unforgivable in a long-term situation?
Zach, so if let's say she did fall into a habit, and yes, we do know drugs are very, very strong. And at first you felt like you weren't able to reach her. You wouldn't keep trying, especially this is your best friend. So this is your best friend that you know that this isn't like them. This isn't something they've always done. So if they fell into this habit, something had to happen. You wouldn't stick by her.
In my vows, I'm writing them. It's through sickness, not drug problems.
I'm saying, look, she develops a problem. Now she's disappearing every night. She's having unprotected sex with randoms. Like, what?
Oh, dang.
I'm just saying it. No, it's like a trickle-down effect. Look at Kanye. He has a mental health problem, but look, now he's putting his family on blast. Sometimes it gets bad. Like, what is unforgivable? You know, I always thought for me, and it still is, physical violence is unforgivable. Like, not happening. Mm-hmm. You know, but I always thought, you know, verbal. Someone talks to me crazy, you gotta go. But there's been situations where I literally, like, someone has talked to me crazy that I've loved, and I've been like, okay, this is not okay. But it's not like I'm piecing out fast.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like trying to figure out how I can kind of help the person understand that this is not an okay way to talk to me. I'm trying to like find a solution instead of being like, oh, peace, you know?
Right.
It's like little things like that, you know, or like people, you know, sometimes people are raised different. Someone calling you like dumb, I'll be like, oh, let somebody call me dumb. I'm punching them in the face. Now it's like, I'll be like, all right, well, you don't got to call me that, but I'm a little bit more like, I guess, tolerant to things that I wasn't so tolerant before.
Let's say open, because it doesn't mean you're tolerating it, but open to, you know, whether you're going to talk through it or not talk through it. Because it doesn't mean you're going to, like, if somebody's saying you're dumb, you're tolerating them telling you you're dumb. You're just open to having a conversation to find out where that's coming from.
Yeah. So I would agree. I think a drug problem, I wouldn't be able to deal with that. That's such a trickle down effect. Someone who has a real addiction
can still be friends, but yeah, I don't know about that relationship part. We can still be friends though. I'll help you out.
Yeah, and then someone who wants to do real freaky stuff, I don't know. I don't know about that, yo. Like, you want to have sex with 2-3 people?
I'm opposite on the drug addiction thing because, again, sometimes addictions aren't even what we consider addictions. Sometimes things that people think are very minute are addictions.
Like
sometimes
porn.
Sometimes people develop addictions from situations. You know, I've seen people that have developed addictions to pain medications from being prescribed pain medications. So that's what I'm saying. But, you know, granted, they have to have a willingness to not want to continue to have it. I'm not going to sit there again like a Chloe and continue to enable you. But if I know that it's not in your nature and almost you fell into this situation and I really know you, I'm going to be at least willing to be like, listen, sit you down. Yo, you need to get some help. And hopefully you're open and receptive to that. Now, again, you keep going on, you're not open and receptive, that's a whole nother conversation. We can't really continue to go down that route.
Right.
All right. So, okay. Well, that kind of answers my questions. People do start forgiving stuff, you know, that they probably thought they never would have forgiven.
Yeah, that's like, that's life and experience, you know, try to get some understanding. And once you get that, you're a little bit more open to those situations.
Dexter changed his list real fast. You said there's nothing.
Everything.
You ain't think about all that. How about if she want to start having sex with 3 different dudes?
Look, Dex ain't beat for that.
I'd be like, I'm not enough.
Right. But I'm talking about long term, like you in this 10 deep, you know, like 5 deep, 10 deep. Like it gets different. It gets real. You know, sex gets boring. y'all get tired of each other, you know, like people change,
Make sure
especially
you with the right person.
Right. I mean, is that, or is that person changing? And you got to figure out, you know, how you deal with the change. I mean, people don't stay the same forever. They evolve. They want different things. They start doing different things. They go through different traumatic situations in their life. You know, what are you willing to forgive and not forgive?
Yeah.
Just a little thing to think about. Put it on your head.
Thanks for ruining my marriage.
Thanks for changing his vows.
No, I'm just saying, you got to ride or die, Dex.
He's going to be like, and this is what I won't forgive.
You got to ride or die, Dex. She on them Percocets, you got to ride or die.
Yeah. Dex ain't hearing that. Look at him. Dex is not hearing that.
She over there singing Future, Molly Percocet. Molly Percocet. You got to ride or die, Dex.
That song ain't going to be too fun if that happens. Ain't going to be two-stepping to that.
All right, guys. Anything else you want to add? No?
I do. I want to add, and I know this is weird off of the subject, but I watched this interesting documentary, and it's called Porndemic on Showtime. You should watch it. It's crazy.
Porndemic? First of all, I don't have Showtime, so you're going to have to give me the password.
You can watch it. It's basically about how HIV spread through the porn industry and how this one man got tied to so many cases. But just watching like the business of it and how they handle things and were handling things, it was kind of interesting and crazy at the same time.
Are they showing sex scenes?
They do show certain scenes that say like, this is such and such. She actually contracted HIV in this scene. Like, so they'll show a clip. They don't show the whole scene.
You creep. This is educational, and you're thinking about sex.
I'm just trying to see. That's education too. It's called sex ed.
Sex ed this is HPV. This is how you avoid it. This is the gonorrhea. If you start bleeding, this is what you have.
It was one of those, like, I was like, I'm not watching this. Then the next thing I know, 2 hours later, it's 3:30. I was like, dang, that was good. It was like a crazy thing just to watch.
I've been watching Cursed on Netflix. Please watch it. And Warrior Nun.
What the hell is that?
What is that?
The title is that. What is that about?
It's about nuns that are warriors. They fight and kick ass and kill people.
Okay.
But for God.
And they not having sex?
No.
They nuns.
So it's like Charlie's Angels, but like nuns?
Nuns, yeah, and they're kicking ass. They're whipping demons' asses and killing. Hey, I thought it was going to be terrible, and I watched it. I'm like, this is actually pretty good.
Sister Act 2.
Right.
It was
one more. Watch The Shy. This season talks about, our missing Black girls, and I think it's very, very good, and just kind of touches on what's going on in our world with that situation. Come on, Keisha.
Hold on, Keisha. Let's go.
I don't know what that's about.
I mean,
watch The Shy.
We're gonna have a post-COVID party.
I did watch Old Guard, which was amazing.
That was good.
With Charlize Theron kicking ass with her axe. I really like that. I like movies where women are kicking ass, whether they're nuns or Charlize Theron. I just would like women beating up on people.
You all right, man?
What?
Look at Dex.
I kind of wish I could be one of them, like a Wonder Woman or something. Xena.
It's so weird because I'm thinking like when you guys are naming this stuff, I'm like, what have I been watching on TV? I've been watching TV, but I haven't been watching any of these movies. And I realized when you said what you just said, women kicking butt, I've been watching wrestling nonstop. That's all I watch on the network nonstop for like the past couple weeks. That's all I've been doing.
Yeah, this is like wrestling, but on Netflix because they don't have a whole lot of women wrestling.
It's wrestling, but with none.
Right. All right, guys. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's hard to move an audio situation to a video situation, but it is there. If you want to
comment. Get those numbers up for us.
That's right. Get the promo in.
Yeah.
And definitely leave us comments. Like, tell us what you think about what we're saying, because we need some feedback on that stuff.
Right. Because
Yeah.
I got a lot of comments after COVID King was kissing everybody. People were texting me. But I was like, oh, leave that on the page, or they were texting me, but I was just telling them, like, put those comments when you watch on YouTube and on Apple Music and that kind of stuff. People
reacted to that one a lot. Yeah. So, all right, guys, follow us on social media at Mina's House Pod. Thank you for listening. The 138th episode. I'm Mina SayWhat.
I'm Shana B.
Sherlock Homeboi, aka Garnett Briscoe.
Dexter One.
Hey, and I'm glad we have it. It's not like an awkward pause. Like, who's going? Who's going? Talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.